Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Nat. Thank you all so much for joining me for another Get Ready with me. Today I want to test out a few things that I picked up during our trip to Palm Springs. My husband and I went on our very first trip without our kids, and we haven't traveled together alone for 16 years. And as most of you know, whenever I travel to the States, I like to pick up things that I can't get here in Canada. One of them being the new Underpainting Palette by Mary Phillips. And I'm not sure why we don't carry this at Sephora Canada, but I've heard great things and I wanted to try it out for myself. These palettes come in 3 shades, light, medium, and deep or dark, and I got the light one. So this palette has a color corrector, 2 highlights, and 2 contour. I would say this is a contour and this is a bronzer, but depending on your skin tone, maybe they're both contours. I also picked up the dual-ended brush. And I'm actually quite excited to test this out with you guys because I haven't underpainted since way back over 20 years ago when I was in makeup school. The underpainting technique is absolutely not new, but it's brought back into popularity by a bunch of makeup artists. And I'm sure tons of makeup artists have been using this technique since way back. Should we swatch this palette first? Why not? I just touched into them and it's so creamy. So this is the color corrector. The first highlight, second highlight, first contour, it's a little bit more cool toned. Sorry, this is awkward. And the second contour slash bronzer. These are the shades. Can you guys see? I wonder if this helps. I'm not really, right? But let's test out this palette and see if it works for my skin tone. Let's try out the color corrector first. Even though in my regular makeup routine, I don't really use a color corrector. I've always felt like I didn't really need it, but maybe I've been in denial. I don't know. I do have a lot of discoloration, but like darkness, aside from this guy, and my friends joining us today, I don't know. So let's see. I'm just going to go in with the smaller end of the brush first. So let's pick some product up. Should we start with this kind of dark spot? Sure. And I guess as I'm aging, I'm starting to get these things. So let's see if this makes a difference. Kind of, right? Okay, maybe it is time I start using color corrector. So I kind of went over this guy, but of course to cancel out red, I would need something green. But let's just keep going. I wanted to share with you guys a little bit about why we went to Palm Springs, but let me focus on this underpainting first, because by utilizing the underpainting technique, I have to rethink my whole process of doing my makeup, which of course isn't hard. It's just, you need to put a little bit of thought into it. If I remember correctly, I think Mary Phillips does the color corrector, then she does the contour, and then highlight. So let's dip into this one. And I have no idea how much pigment we need to pick up, because like I said, we're trying this out together. Okay, so let's okay, so let's start up here. I'm just gonna push it into my hairline. And I have to be careful with my forehead because it's on the short side. So I usually put bronzer or contour up in my hairline just for cohesiveness, not to actually bring my forehead too far down because, like I said, it's short to begin with. But this this product is super creamy. Like this, I think. Okay, and then I think, I don't normally do this part, but we're experimenting. I think from like here up. And this side. I think I went a little too low here, so let's... I don't know if this palette is too light for me or not, but we'll discover together. And that's interesting. This doesn't really look that cool toned on me, I don't think. Okay. And then I think we're supposed to go right where the cheekbone is and hug it like that. Let's see if we can get this symmetrical. Find the cheekbone, hug it. Let's see, and the jawline, I think you can either go on your jaw or below it if you're trying to carve it out. Let's see, I think I just want it on. And this side. Because I already used the smaller side for color corrector and I plan to use it for highlight, I'm going to switch to a BK Beauty A505 to contour my nose. Okay, so going right here and here. I don't even know if this brush is good for this. Let's bring it up to the brow bone area. Have any of you guys picked up this palette, tried underpainting, love underpainting, never even heard of underpainting? What do we think so far? I don't think I've even contoured my lips before, ever. I usually forget about my lips, as most of you guys know. But I think to test out this palette, let's give it a try. This product is so creamy. Like, I wonder how it's going to hold up on an oily face like mine. Is this how you do it? I don't know. I feel like I just gave myself a mustache. Okay, so our highlights both have a little bit of a different undertone. Let's try this one first. See what that looks like. All right, so let's start in the forehead. can't decide. I can't tell if that's a little too gray. I just dipped into the other highlighter shade just so we can see. Like maybe I need to mix them two together. Where else? Right in here. Sides of the nose. Top of the nose. Is that a straight line? I don't think so. Chinny chin chin. Oh yeah, right under the contour. And I can't remember if we stick any under the eyes at all. Let's see. And now I'm just gonna do a little bit of stippling because I'm not sure if you're supposed to blend this out. I keep hearing different things, so if we just kind of diffuse the edges a little bit. But I think the whole point is that the skin tint or the light coverage foundation that we're going to put on top of this is supposed to help diffuse the edges. Let's discover it together. For skin tint, I'm going to use the Estée Lauder Double Wear Sheer Long Wear Makeup. This one is the skin tint version, I'm sure, because I also have the Double Wear actual foundation. And this is in the shade 4N1. It's a little bit more of my summer shade, because in the Double Wear foundation, I actually use 3N1. I'm just going to put some on the back of my hand. It's super runny, which is what I keep hearing, the kind of consistency that you want to put over the underpainting. And also this is what I just traveled with to Palm Springs. Sorry, it's running all over the back of my hand, but I just wanted to show you a brush. I've heard that we're supposed to use something fluffy. So this is a really old MAC brush. It's a MAC 187. And we're just going to dip into it. And let's start here. I think you're just supposed to lightly swirl some on. I'm not sure if that was the best brush to use, so let's switch over to Nikki's N15. Pick up some more, and let's try this on this side of the face. Okay, so this is where we're at. I really I don't know if I have an opinion. I guess, yeah, the highlight and contour to my face looks a little bit more natural. I don't know. What do you guys think? Okay, so I just primed my eyes with matte paint pot in soft ochre. And this is where we're at. Yeah, I don't know. Is this supposed to... I don't know if this is supposed to replace concealer. I don't think so. I don't know if I don't have an opinion just because this is new. And I don't have the rest of my makeup finished. So why don't we just carry on and see what this turns into? I don't have to have a finalized opinion on it just yet. But in terms of the product, it's super creamy, emollient. Like it goes on nice. But like I said, I don't know how well it's going to hold up on oily skin like mine. But we'll see. In Palm Springs, we stopped in at Ross because we don't have one in Canada. And I picked up this Dominique eyeshadow palette for $12.99 American. It's the Essential palette, and this is what it looks like. I don't think I own anything from Dominique Cosmetics, so I'm excited to try this out. Let's start off with this shade. It's called Compassion. And I'm just going in with a Refer 33. Okay, yeah, so my uncle, it's my mom's older brother. He currently lives in Palm Springs. I think he moved there maybe 10 years ago, from Santa Monica, but his health is deteriorating. He was diagnosed a couple years ago with PSP. It's progressive supranuclear palsy, which basically means that his brainstem is deteriorating. He's in a home. He was put into a home, was it last year? Yeah, last year. And that home wasn't the greatest. It felt, as my husband puts it, he says it feels like jail or juvie. But, he's in a different home now. It's like an actual house. Like it's like a residence, but they have, I think, he shares the house with 5 other people, and they have better care. It's just the energy is better there. We met the people who work there and help take care of him, and they're so much more caring and loving, and they feel like family. So it makes me feel a little bit better, but yeah, I didn't anticipate getting emotional, talking about my uncle in this video. Okay, well, let's pause a sec and check out this eyeshadow. It's nice and soft. Okay, let's see. What shade next? I think I'm going to go in with this one called True Self, because this one, I don't think it goes with the shirt that I'm wearing. True Self on a Refer 01. So yeah, my uncle and I are super close. I'm his favorite niece. We've been close since I was born, since I was super little. He moved away from Vancouver before I was born. He first moved to Toronto because he was the art director for Flair magazine for a bunch of years. He's just been a super consistent, loving, caring, more than my uncle type person in my life. I don't have a close relationship with my dad. It's better now, but I'll save the story of my dad for some other time, because it's not a happy one, but it's okay. So anyway, my uncle has always been there for me, even though we've never lived in the same city, because from Toronto, he then moved to New York. He was in Manhattan for a while, and I used to fly out there to visit him while in Manhattan. Then from Manhattan, he moved to Santa Monica, because Santa Monica was actually his dream. He loves the ocean, he loves the beach, he loves sun, he hates the rain and the gray. So when he moved out to Santa Monica, I think like maybe early mid-90s, that's when I really started to visit him very often. A couple times a year, I started flying down there by myself, and he would pick me up from the airport. He would just always make the effort to have a relationship with me, to keep in contact with me. Yeah, I just love him. Okay, so we don't really have like a deeper matte brown shade. So I guess I'm going to try and deepen up my outer corners with the black. It's called Fearless. Let's see, is this going to work? Oh, maybe. It's not a super pigmented black, I guess. but I still want to be gentle and careful. I guess my uncle and I have a lot of the same interests in the beauty industry, in like fashion, pop culture. So we always got along. When my husband and I got married, he was the one that helped me kind of know what to do during our banquet. Like, we had a Chinese banquet before we flew down to Vegas and got married in Vegas. But our Chinese banquet here in Vancouver for family and a few friends, like, I had no idea what to do. I wasn't one of those types of girls who dreamt about getting married since little. In fact, I kind of never really wanted to get married, but then I met my husband and here we are 20 years later. But yeah, my uncle, he was also at the time super into flowers, floral arrangements. He used to do the farmer's market in LA, selling flowers or bouquets or whatever. He's just a super, super creative person. So anyway, he came to Vancouver from LA with orchids to decorate our wedding cake. Yeah, he is not doing so good. I'm grateful to have whatever time I have with him. And I actually thought that I wasn't going to be able to go down and see him this year. So I am extra grateful that we did get to make this trip. And yeah, my kids randomly said like, "No, Mom, we're okay. You guys go ahead." And we survived that. The kids were fine. They're teenagers now, so we have a little bit more freedom. And my son is so responsible. He helps out with his little sister. Okay, so I couldn't decide what shimmer to use, so I thought I'd give them a quick swatch just to see. Okay, these are the shimmer shades. Maybe this one. Let's start off with Comfort. So yeah, my uncle, his name's Derek. My Uncle Derek, he's always been super involved in my life. Just, him and I just have a special bond. And this trip that we just took, although it was fabulous, I always love seeing him. I always love spending time with him. Every time I go down there, I bring my scissors and I cut his hair. I file his nails for him. But this trip was a little bit tougher than usual because he was more emotional than usual. And he tells me he misses me all the time. He wishes that I could visit him more. I think his ideal would be for me to move down there and help take care of him, which in my heart, of course, I would love to do, but I'm not American. I have many responsibilities, my job, my family here, my kids, you know. So I don't usually use shimmer shades with a brush, but I kind of wanted to see, because maybe this shimmer shade could have been our deepening up outer corner shade. I must say though, for a $12.99 American palette, these eyeshadows are pretty not bad. For inner third, let's try the shade Kalinda. Like at the old home or facility that my uncle, oh, that's kind of pretty, that my uncle was in, like he wasn't allowed electronics, he wasn't allowed access to his cell phone, his tablet. I guess because that facility was more specialized for, it's called like a memory care facility. And because what my uncle has is so rare, he kind of just gets lumped into, he doesn't have dementia or he doesn't have memory issues. The closest thing to my knowledge, symptom-wise, is Parkinson's, but he doesn't shake. It's quite sad to watch him deteriorate this way because before this, he was so vibrant, so fun, so alive. He loved to do things. He loved to do things with me. He loved to push himself, to try new things. But now his body is failing. And although the disease or the PSP itself isn't fatal, it won't kill him, but as his body is breaking down, he's most likely going to have a really bad fall, which he's already had a few of them, or pneumonia or something. Sorry, this is getting really sad, and that wasn't my intention. But sometimes things in life aren't fun. They aren't uplifting, but there's still beauty in things. And I think that's what I wanted to share with you all is I cherish the time that I've had with him. I cherish everything that he has done for me, done with me. It's like he just truly gets me, you know? He's always taken the time to listen to me, because yeah, back in the day, that was our favorite thing to do. We would stay up late and just chat all night long. And of course, we have the same taste in boys. So actually, the cute thing, he loves my husband. Actually, my husband and my Uncle Derek, their birthdays are a day apart. So before we had kids, we would fly down to Santa Monica and spend their birthdays with my uncle and his husband. What was I saying? So yeah, he loves my husband. They've always gotten along. But this trip, it was like the cutest thing. We were just chit-chatting, and I think my uncle was going through reflection of acknowledging and appreciating people that have been there for him at this part of his life. So he kept thanking my husband. He kept saying, Rob, like, you're amazing. You're great. Da, da, da. And then he turned to me and said, Nat, he's a keeper. He's truly a keeper. He's no Paul Walker, but he's definitely a keeper. And we just laughed. Cause yeah, back in the day, in my early 20s, that's who my uncle and I used to talk about all the time is Paul Walker. Wait, so I think I was also telling you guys that at the old place that my uncle was at, hold on, let's use this shade as an underbrow highlight. So yeah, the old facility that my uncle was at, he had no access to like anything really. He was so bored. And then like the people that were there in the facility with him kind of caused him like a lot of stress because they are the ones with the memory issues. So often the other residents would break into his room at night. So he wasn't sleeping through the night. He even in his state, like he is in a wheelchair and he can stand up though. And it's not like he can't use his legs. It's just, he doesn't have the endurance. He can't stay on his legs. So he can stand up and sit down, but he's super weak. So in his condition, he came up with all these different booby traps to alert him. If people were entering his room, he would put 2 different shoes on whenever he left his room so that no one could steal a pair of his shoes because there were never a pair around. Just all these things to kind of survive where he was. But where he's at now, the first thing he said to me was, there's no locks on any doors. He sleeps through the night. So that's wonderful for me to hear. And the other place, every time I'd call, I'd sit on hold for like 40 minutes to an hour, or they'd hang up on me. And then this place, it's like you call and they pass the phone straight to him. But the other pro to this place is he has a smart TV. Now he can watch my YouTube videos. Because that was something that he was actually kind of sad about at the old place. Was that he really wanted to watch my videos, but he can't. So again, that's a pro for now. Where are we with these eyes? I've just taken a teeny tiny bit of that matte black shade just to kind of add that back to my outer corners. But yeah, when I was little, like little, and every time he would come home to Vancouver to visit all of us, but especially his mom, my grandma, when she was living at the time, because she passed away quite a long time ago. But anyway, he would always come pick me up, take me out for ice cream. He would borrow usually his mom's car, sometimes his dad's car, sometimes his younger brother, my other uncle's car. And for some reason, every time we were out, he would crash it or like drive into something. Or one time we even got stuck on the median in the middle of the road. And then he'd always tell me like, Nat, don't tell anyone. And I just thought he was hilarious because I kept saying to him, I'm like, I'm pretty sure people can tell with their eyes. I don't have to say something. But yeah, my uncle, just hilarious. Okay, so I don't have a new concealer to try out. This one is just the Kulfi Main Match Concealer in the shade Cocoa Crush. I feel like needs a little bit more coverage there and just a little bit throughout here. I'm just blending it out with an FO2 from Singe Beauty. So yeah, as I was saying, this trip was a little bit harder than usual because he was very emotional. He cried a lot. He was telling me that he misses his mom. And I do too. My grandma and I were super close, super tight. I think I've mentioned her on my channel here before. She was a hairstylist. But she passed away when I was 16, so she wasn't around when I decided to go into hair myself. But according to my uncle, because every time I cut his hair, he tells me that I remind him so much of his mom, that I'm meticulous just like her. I don't know if it's meticulous or if it's like a little bit of OCD. I'm just taking whatever's left over or still on my brush. I'm just running that up the top of my nose. I actually have a new setting powder to try. It's the Cali Ray Magic Hour Setting Powder in the shade Dawn. So Dawn is a pinkish shade, and I think it's supposed to be brightening. Again, I don't know, like we have Cali Ray here in Vancouver, or here in Canada, I mean, but I don't know why we don't have the setting powder. I wonder, is it an SPF issue? I don't know. I don't think there's SPF in this powder, but I know we don't have the lip glosses because SPF is an issue here in Canada. If it's under 30, SPF 30, I think, you can't sell it here or something like that. I don't know if that was brightening though. What do you guys think? Sorry, I feel like this guy is still a little too prominent. I'm going to see if we can tone it down with a little dab of Sarah Creel Face Flex. Yes, Face Flex in the shade 2.0. And then FO2, let's just... Actually, I'm just going to use my finger. Kind of better. Not really, but let's carry on. Okay, so this setting powder has like the little netting, which I don't really have an opinion on. Some people love it, some people hate it. I guess I'm gonna use this setting powder, set the rest of my face, and see what that looks like. I feel like this setting powder is kind of dark. I don't know. What do you guys think? And I'm just using a triangle puff from Amazon. Yeah. Kind of dark, no? Okay, so I'm actually just switching back to my Jason Wu setting powder. Ready, Set, Matte, I think it's called. Oh no, I totally forgot. I have this Dibs duo that I wanted to try out. So when was it? One of the other times that I went to the States, I got the shimmer version of the Dibs duo, and this one is not the shimmer formula. It is number 3. I think the shade names are Full Deets and Spilling Tea. I kind of half powdered my face already, but let's see if this works. I wanted to try out the blush, so I'm just gonna put some on the back of my hand and pick it up from there with a BK Beauty 109. Let's see if this works or turns into a big mess. It's a pretty shade. What do you guys think? I'm kind of curious to see what the bronzer looks like. So that's what it's swatched as. I'm kind of all over the place with this makeup application, hey? I am actually kind of curious. Should we try it? Why not? So I'm just going to go in with a different BK Beauty 109. Let's, like I said, add this on top of my already partially powdered base. All right, back to powdering. But yeah, going back to my uncle, I always admired how creative he was, I don't know what the proper tense is to use anymore because he can't do a lot of the things that he used to do, that he loves to do. He just always had such great vision with things. Like he can basically turn any kind of what we would think of as garbage or junk or whatever, into the most incredible art piece or decoration piece or like functional something. Just super creative, super innovative. He inspired and encouraged me a lot throughout my lifetime, and for that I am eternally grateful. Alright, so just pushing in the powder a little bit more with Nikki's N14. And now taking a big fluffy BK Beauty 102. All right, we're supposed to finish up this eye look. Let's see. I think I'm going to try this shade, even though I don't normally use, or I don't even know if I've ever used a shimmer shade on my lower lash line. But let's see if this works. Yeah, okay. Now I'm just taking a tiny bit of that matte black shade just to add that in for some dimension. But yeah, I guess, you know, like my uncle has grown with me through all of the phases of my life. Like I was always interested in fashion and beauty and anything creative or anything pretty, but I was a hardcore tomboy. Like I pretty much wore boys' clothes all the time. The majority of my friends growing up are all guys. So I guess my feminine or my creative outlet was shared a lot with my uncle. And he was always the one that, you know, kept telling me, he's like, "Nat, you're so beautiful." And I'm like, "Ew, what are you talking about?" And I don't know if it's because he says that I remind him so much of his mom, but it's separate. Like, I know he loves me for me. He actually sees me for who I am. He gets me. But yeah, it was kind of sad. Like when my grandma passed away, the first time I went down to LA to visit him, he apologized to me because he told me that he had to take all my pictures down. He had to put away temporarily all of my pictures because he said that every time he walked by them, out of the corner of his eye, he thought he was seeing his mom, which I totally understand. And of course I didn't take offense to it. We all grieve differently. We all process things differently. Every time I went down to visit him, or not only that, anytime I went anywhere that he lived to visit him, he always did so much research, or he would put so much thought and intention into my visits. So he would always come up with new things to show me, new places to take me, new experiences for us to have together. And even in his current condition, he always asks me if I need a ride from the airport. I need a ride to the airport. And I always tell him, I call him Juju. It's uncle in Shanghainese. I always say, Juju, I'm good. Like, I rented a car. I always rent a car. The point that I'm making is that even in his condition, like, he's still always thinking of me. He's always considering. He's always still trying to suggest things for me and the kids to do, like when I would visit with my kids, or things for me to do with Rob in the future when we go back to visit. It's like, you gotta check out this place. I just did eyeliner and a little bit more mascara off camera, and now it's time for lips. In Palm Springs, I actually picked up a bunch of lip products, but because I've been rambling through this video, I'm just going to tell you quickly. I picked up a couple of shades in the, what is this, the Afterglow, Aftershine something NARS lip gloss. This one is in the shade Smooth Talk, and I also picked up Nympho, because those two shades are sold out here in Canada. I also picked up a few more shades of the Cali Ray lip gloss, because I really love that formula. And I think I got a couple Edam lip glosses or lip balms, and I got a couple Juvia's Place lip glosses. So let's put this on. But the rest of our trip, even though we were just there for the weekend, my husband and I had a wonderful time. We even met up with one of my high school friends who happens to have the exact same birthday as I do. He has a timeshare, I guess, down in Palm Springs, so he goes quite often. And we met up for dinner. We went out for Thai food. It was delicious. We went to, what was it called? Thai Smile or something like that downtown. And then we actually went back to his place and watched Love is Blind, because that's like his favorite show right now. I was trying to explain to my husband, Rob, what this show is about, because Rob and I don't really watch a whole lot of reality TV, but we watched an episode with him and it was fun. It was just neat for us to do something with adults, or I mean with a fellow adult, because for a bunch of years Rob and I were so into our kids, and I'm quite proud of ourselves that we're now in this phase of our lives, because when we did kid things with our kids, like, we really did them. Our whole lives were pretty much wrapped around what our kids were into. So now that they're older and they have like their own lives, their own plans and stuff, like, Rob and I get to experience this new phase where we get a little bit more freedom. We get to remember what we were like before we had kids, and it's been fun. Oh, I totally forgot setting spray. I got the new Danessa Myricks setting spray, and you guys know me, I don't normally like to do setting spray over lip stuff, but it's okay. So the mist on it is pretty fine. And normally you guys know that the One Size Until Dawn is my absolute favorite, because I'm generally oily, and when I work under hot lights, so I need the extra help. But this one, this Danessa Myricks one, I'm quite happy with it. I've been using it for a little bit now since we got back from the trip, and I think I like it better than the new Charlotte Tilbury matte version. But anyway, here is my look. My thoughts on the underpainting. Honestly, I think I have to do it a few more times or try it out a few more just to get comfortable with it, just to get familiar with the technique, with how to incorporate it with the rest of my makeup. But my first impression is, like, I like it. I definitely used way less skin tint or base than I normally did. I feel like the product itself is quite easy to work with. I guess I wonder if they're going to come out with more shades. I don't know. Now I'm curious to see what the medium palette would have looked like on me, or if they're going to come out with a light medium option in the future. But the light one worked out pretty okay, I think. What do you guys think? Leave me a comment and let me know. I think that's it. I rambled a lot. I think I did all the steps to my makeup. And now we've come to the end of this video. Thank you all so much for your support. Thank you all so much for taking time out of your day to hang out with me, to test out new things with me, to listen to me blab. I truly appreciate you all so much. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day, or if it's nighttime for you, I hope you get a good night's rest. And I'll see you guys in the next one.